From the Ticats Audio Network, this is Ticats Today with Louie B.
Yes, it is Ticats Today for a Wednesday, October the 6th, 2021. Thanks for checking us out on the Ticats Audio Network. Yes, it is your digital host, Louie B. A brand new episode of Morielli and Hitch. And I can't even get through the name of the show without chuckling, because every time I say the show, I think about something ridiculous that they've said on this week's episode. Within 2 minutes of today's show, you got Morielli breaking out his Luke Skywalker impression. You got Rob's stories of working as a bouncer. It is the funniest podcast on the Ticats Audio Network, even though I do not try to be funny, despite how flat some of my jokes fall. It is the funniest podcast on the Ticats Audio Network, so go check it out. A brand new episode of Morielli and Hitch, available wherever you got this podcast. Ticats remain off again today. They'll return to practice tomorrow, and we'll be back at Tim Hortons Field bringing you all the latest. So coming up on today's show, we will be joined by a CFL.ca managing editor and senior writer Chris O'Leary. We'll get his thoughts on where the Ticats are at this point of the season, and a huge matchup, or week of matchups, in the East Division, starting tonight, when the Toronto Argonauts host the Ottawa Red Blacks. That should be a great game. A huge game for Ottawa. Are they for real? Was last week kind of a blip? We'll find out tonight when they take on the Argos in Toronto. Coming up in just a little bit, though, we're going to be joined by Justin Glover. He's a community relations coordinator at Hamilton Food Share. And that is because on Monday, when the Ticats host the Argonauts, it is Purolator Tackle Hunger Day. So representatives from Hamilton Food Share, from the Ticats, from Purolator, they'll be there to collect donations of cash, of debit, online donations, and non-perishable food items in support of Hamilton Food Share. Purolator Tackle Hunger has raised more than 13 million pounds of food, and Hamilton consistently sets records when it comes to bringing in food. 240,000 pounds of food was raised last time out, so that was a record, and the Ticats are hoping a similar turnout again for Monday. And here to discuss that, as mentioned, is Justin Glover. He's community relations coordinator at Hamilton Food Share. And Justin, it seems like a perfect marriage. The Ticats, Hamilton Food Share, Thanksgiving. It seems like everything is lining up nicely for Monday.
Yeah, you know what? We're super grateful for the opportunity to be a part of this program. We have a great relationship with you guys and the Ticats and with Purolator. And, you know, right now it's the season of giving. It's the season of thinking about our neighbors. And it's so apropos to be at Thanksgiving Day, you know, while everyone's got a Thanksgiving food drive and the Thanksgiving football game. We're the recipients of this great cause. So thank you.
Hamilton Food Share, just give us a little bit of background. You know, how long have you guys been accepting donations, and kind of, I guess, some of the key numbers I think people would be surprised to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. So Hamilton Food Share, we've been around for about 30 years here in the Hamilton community. We're the hub of the food bank systems here in Hamilton. We touch actually every corner of the city. There's 23 food bank or food programs or Hunger Relief programs that we're actually touching throughout the city. 16 agencies. And we're helping everyone that feed food, you know, feed each other, or, you know, make sure that they're not going hungry. And that's essential, right? There's it's full inclusivity. And no, it doesn't matter what your gender is, what your sex is, what your religion is, or, you know, your race. We're making sure that you're being fed, and that's really important. So that's what we do, you know, in a nutshell.
Let's talk about some of the donations that you'll be looking for when it comes to Purolator Tackle Hunger on Monday. What are some of the key items you're kind of hoping that people find? It's, you know, we know that there's some sort of, you know, trend to kind of look what you have in your closet, but maybe you're going to grocery store this week. What are some things people should be picking up?
It's a really great question, and realistically, to be completely honest with you, the donations that we're looking for are the ones that are actually the most important to the donor. So whatever is important to you as a donor, bringing to the game, that's the best one. Now, that being said, there's obviously some key items that we are looking for, or all food bank programs are looking for. Those are your high protein items, your peanut butters, your canned tunas, your canned meats. But rice, pasta, beans, they go a long way. Now, keep in mind, though, we also have an ability to provide people with those staple items that we might not think about. Your spices, your salts, your peppers, your condiments. These are things that food banks need, but not necessarily are thought about all the time. So those are items that we'll always accept. But at the end of the day, the item that is the most important and most meaningful to you as a donor, that's the best one to donate.
And if people aren't coming down with grocery bags full of food, they can open their checkbook as well. And I feel like that's an important aspect, because I was reading on the website of Hamilton Food Share that $1 raises $5 worth of food. That seems like it goes a long way.
Yeah, and that's a really important number to us, right? So when you actually think about it, when you get your grocery bill at home and you get to the cash register and you look at it, think about that times 5. When you're donating a dollar to us, we can flip it into $5 worth of food. And we do that through our food acquisition and distribution network, and our ability to buy in surplus and buy in wholesale. So at the game, when you're going, if you know what, you get to the game and oh no, I forgot my bag of food. Don't worry, we'll have teams there that'll have a QR code that you can donate online, as well as a tap system and the traditional cash. You got a couple loonies and toonies in your pocket, throw them in. We'll accept it. So thank you so much.
If you're not going down to the game to make a donation, where can people donate? And also importantly, if somebody's watching this and is suffering from food insecurity, what are some resources they can reach out to?
Absolutely. So if you are looking for help, that is the most important. If you are looking for help and you need to feed yourself or your family, head over to our website, hamiltonfoodshare.org. There's a link on there. The first thing you'll see, it says looking for help. If you're looking for help, please click there. There's a list of all of our agencies that we help out in this city. Find the one that's the most convenient for you, and all the contact information for them will be there. If you are looking to help, same thing. You can actually go to hamiltonfoodshare.org. There's a button right beside the looking for help that says looking to help. And if you're looking to help, you can click there and donate directly online.
Justin, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it, Louie. Thanks so much for your time, and best of luck to the Ticats, and eat them raw.
That is Justin Glover. He's the Community Relations Coordinator at Hamilton Food Share, and Hamilton usually does a pretty good job raising money and food. The record, 240,000 pounds of food raised last time out, so hoping to top that. And if you don't feel like bringing heavy bags of groceries, we hope you do, but if you don't, you can always bring your checkbook as well, as $1 raises $5 worth of food, and you heard it there, taking all sorts of donations. And if you're not going down, or if you need to access any of the offerings of Hamilton Food Share, hamiltonfoodshare.org is their website. All right, that's all going down on Monday. Speaking of Monday, the Ticats are getting set to host the Argonauts, but before that, the Argonauts take on the Red Blacks tonight at home at BMO Field. I'm sure a man who will be at that game, who's joining us now, is the managing editor and senior writer at CFL.ca, Chris O'Leary. And Chris, obviously it's a big week in matchups for the East Division, but let's start with the Ticats, 4-4. Is that record indicative of who we think the Ticats are at this point?
I think it fits if you look at the season that they've had, just in terms of, I think, dealing with a lot of injuries and just kind of finding their way early. I think the record reflects well on them in that sense. I think things could have gone a lot worse. You look at teams, and we talked about it the last time I was on with you, teams that are down to their third string quarterback. Those are teams that are usually taking L's, and the Ticats found ways to win with David Watford in there, which I think is a great sign for them. And I'm interested to see what the second half of the season holds for them. Just talking with people on our content team, we were doing things like power rankings and the QB index and things like that. I think it's very possible that this team sort of hits its stride starting, you could even look at even last week, just the way that I thought they played a good game. It took a tough loss, but just I think what's in front of them in terms of health, getting key pieces back. You look at Masoli settling in as a starter now, and then look at Braylon Addison, who had a good game. You want to get Brandon Banks going. I feel like there's still a lot of time for those things to happen, a lot of things to come together. So, 4-4, I think is accurate for sort of what they've been through, and I think shows well on their end. But I still think there's a ton of positives and upside for this team as we get to that second half.
Let's go back to Saturday because, like you said, it was a good game. I'm sure people who left, cheering for the Ticats might disagree on that one. But when you look at that game, Shinetti was on here on Monday, called it the game of the year. I mean, that's what makes the CFL exciting. Games like that, 55-yard kicks into the wind. I mean, that game really had everything.
It did. It was just such a battle. And I think Shinetti was probably right. I mean, really, if you look at games like from this past week, there were probably a couple, and then you look at that Saskatchewan BC finished the week before. I think just the league as a whole is kind of hitting its stride with good competitive games. But to me that Ticats Als game just had everything, and so many swings. A big lead, unfortunately, squandered, but it made for an amazing finish. And then, like you said, Bertolet's kick from midfield into the wind. Extremely difficult situation and conditions. And there's so much emotion in that game. It felt like a playoff game. And I think maybe more so for the Owls than the Ticats. I think the Owls just were desperate, right? Ottawa's right on their heels in the standings. They couldn't afford to lose that game. And they got that win in an incredible atmosphere. I think a great game. Obviously, you're unhappy if you're a Ticats fan. You see that home winning streak come to an end. But a great game. And I'm excited now just to see the Ticats on Thanksgiving Monday, and then I think a great opportunity to kind of build a new streak here at Team Hornsfield.
And Matt, again, Shinetti and I were talking about this earlier, where it was like you got this sense that Montreal kind of felt like they needed to win that game, and it was more of a desperation. But for the Ticats, they need those games. They need that experience. They need that adversity. Again, he made the case that they've had adversity on their team since 2014. But, getting these games out of the way, getting these tough games where you can learn the lessons. Okay, why couldn't we put our foot on the gas at 17-3? What happened? There is something to take out of a loss like that.
I think so. I think, like you said, letting that lead go, and then even just losing a game in overtime and just in those tight situations at the end. I think, and it's something I think a team has to go through every season. It's not something you go through once, 4 years ago and it's with you. I think you have to kind of go through those ups and downs through a season. But I think just you take things from those tight losses, and whether it's as simple as, we can't let this happen again, or just seeing mistakes that you're making. I'm sure it's been an interesting week, or will be an interesting week of practice here for this team as they watch film and try to improve on the things they did wrong. But I think especially for a team like the Ticats, this is, you're towards the front of the pack in the East, even though it seems like it's tightening up. You don't want to say that they can afford these losses, but they have some room for error. And and I think there's a ton to learn there. You get better from it, and you take that into the rest of the season with you.
You mentioned Monday's game. By the time the Ticats kick off, you mentioned the East. By the time the Ticats kick off at 4 p.m., there could be 3 teams in the East Division with 4 wins, and one of them could be Ottawa, right? I mean, Ottawa could win tonight. They could win on Sunday or Monday afternoon. I mean, this is a huge week for the East Division, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. And to me, it's like classic CFL. It's kind of, maybe kind of make a joke about it and just say that, the team that was dead in the water 2 weeks ago is now, it back in the thick of it. But to me, that's what makes the league great, right? It's just that, and especially this year, it's just the parity. We're seeing that in the West as well. Winnipeg excluded. Just that it's all up for grabs, and it makes it incredibly difficult to pick winners every week and to have a solid sense of what this league looks like. Again, Winnipeg excluded. But it's super fun. Part of me would love to see this just kind of roll through for the next 2 months and get into a situation where, you're in week 15, 16 and every single game matters. And, a team that maybe is in second place is in danger of, losing a lot and potentially being out of the playoffs at the end of the regular season. To me, that's a ton of fun. And I can't really think of a time. I've been around the league, I think since 2008 in some capacity. I can't think of a time where so much could be at stake, where we're in that position. It's, record-wise, maybe it doesn't look great when everyone's at or around 500, but it could be a ton of fun, right? And I think that's where we're headed right now.
Well, and that, I mean, it could be the Argos could be, sitting on 6 wins after week 10, or everybody could be bunched up there with 4 wins or 3 wins. The Ticats obviously want to keep pace. What do the Ticats need to do differently Monday when they take on the Argonauts that didn't work for them in Montreal, or they just have to be a little bit better?
And I think some of this is going to come as they get healthier and get more time together. I think this week of practice will probably be big for Jeremiah Masoli, for Braylon Addison, for Brandon Banks, who's been around more this season, but I think just needs to get on that same page with his quarterback. I think the biggest thing for Hamilton is just getting that offense going, right? I mean, we've seen through the challenges that they've had that they've got the special teams power, whether it's in the kicking game or whether it's in the return aspect of it. The defense can score touchdowns at any point and can make game-changing plays. Like, I don't think that's changed really from 2019. To me, it's just the offense. It's getting on the same page. It's letting Masoli get comfortable. As Dane Evans' health improves, maybe it's getting him back into the picture. Whatever it is to kind of get that offense firing like it was 2 years ago, 1 season ago. Just to get that. I mean, I think that's the one thing they're consistently missing. And again, and this is why I keep saying, like, at 4-4, that's they're in a decent spot considering. And I think if they get that could provide that separation that that I'm not necessarily looking for in the standings. But I think they're basically that one piece away from being an elite team.
Well said, Chris. Appreciate you doing this. Thank you so much.
Yeah, anytime. And enjoy the games this weekend.
My thanks to Chris for joining me today, and my thanks to Justin Glover joining me earlier, the Community Relations Coordinator at Hamilton Food Share, talking about Monday's game. And my thanks to you for joining me. I appreciate it. Ticats back at practice tomorrow. We're back at Tim Hortons Field with all the news and notes you need to know that you only find here on the Ticats Audio Network, specifically Ticats Today. Thanks for checking us out. I'm Louie B. Hope you have a great day.
Ticats Today with Louie B. Subscribe, like, and get your Ticats fix every weekday.